A little Harry Potter intro thing. Yes, amazing, you know. I put the material in the Potter folder. So there is a folder with some cloud images and some stone. And there is some typefaces, so a real Harry Potter typeface, and you can just install that. I already have it installed, so never mind. Then the idea is to create something like this. I made this last year, I think, maybe. You can see when I'm running at 12 something my timeline gets sort of like squished. So this is my layers, and this is the timeline. So yes, it's because I'm only running at 1200. Say what?
It's your folder.
So this is my timeline right now. I can disable stuff here so that it will, yeah, well, I'll just leave it right now. But what I'm creating here is a little intro for like a Harry Potter movie. See, if your compositions get advanced enough, it can't playback it at real time. So when you start playback, it will start caching frames. That's what this green indicator does. It shows what frames it has already rendered. So this one is green as well because I was at that frame, so it generated that frame. So it is just going through the frames. If I tap spacebar again, it will play the frames it has cached. I'll just wait a second so that we see a little bit more of it. Something like this. So I press space again, and now it will play back those frames that are cached at real time. So this is you have to like do the sound yourself. The thing is that this is built from these cloud textures, and then I'm doing a 3D layer. So if we look at this, I have a camera that I'm animating to move my way through the clouds, and then each of the cloud layers, as you can see, is a 3D layer. I also have a light that shines a light on my text. I have my Potter thing here that is also a 3D layer. I'm using the ray traced 3D settings that enables me to do like a slightly fancier font types. If we look at this from the top view, if you look right now, I'm in the camera view. I can also go to two views horizontal, so you can see this is what my scene looks like from the top, and this is what the result looks like. So as I scrub back, you can see that the camera moves through these planes. That is the clouds. So I will now go through how to set something like this up. Let's pop back to one view and like this, and then I'll just make a new project. Yeah. And I will bring in my my material. So I will bring in the footage. It's this. And then I have to decide on the size of my composition. Since none of this footage is like a really good size. See, the one called BG is like a 16 by 1038. This is, so they're all like weird resolutions. So for this I will do it in 720p. So I click the composition panel and I go to presets and I choose 720 at 25 fps. So that is 1280 by 720 square pixels and 25 frames per second, and it is full resolution, etc. So click OK and I get a blank composition, so you know these little squares from Photoshop. And the first thing I want to do is I want to create this this text layer. So I just go to my text tool and then I type what should we type? Peanut butter. That's a long word. PJ. That's a very short word. PJs. Banana. Okay, good. So as you can see, this is awfully small. It's also not in the right typeface. So I'll just make it bigger, like so. I'll change the color to maybe a grayish thing. There. And I will change my typeface. Yes?
Can we remove that label?
Only if you remember to clean after yourself.
It wasn't me.
Yes, I know. That's what Bart Simpson says. And then it becomes a star. So I have to find the right font, and I know it's called Harry Potter, I think. There we go. Harry P or Harry Potter. I can't remember which one it is. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, banana. Maybe Harry P is better. No. I think Harry Potter is better. It doesn't matter. Just one of them. So I have made the typeface now. And what I can do is I can make this into a 3D layer by clicking here. So when I do that, I get this becomes a 3D layer, and I can do things like changing the material and other things. But it's still just a flat object. If I look at this button in the top right corner of my viewport, it says Classic 3D. This is the original After Effects way of doing things. If I click this, I can change the renderer to Ray Traced 3D instead. Some say this will disappear in the future. I don't know. It's good for some things. So if I do this, it says, oh, all of this stuff will work differently when you do this. So yes, that's good. Yes. And okay. I put it on the server. So okay. So for some reason this didn't generate anything. That is great. Let's see. Contains triangles that are too small to be rendered. Check very thin triangles in the original artwork. Then I will try the other font because I think that works. Yes, the other font works. Good. Everybody is happy. So if I look at this object here, what I can do is I can change things like extrusion. So when I do that, I will start getting, I should actually grab my camera tool up here, and then I can see, what is it saying? Let's go orbit camera. Why is it? Oh, I need a camera. Layer, new camera. Yeah. So I create a camera, and now I should be able to see. Okay, there we go. So this is what it looks like right now, and you can see that I can change the extrusion. Right now it looks really flat because I don't have any light, so I add a new layer, light, and this will be, I will do a parallel light, something like this, and I can move this around, maybe a little up, and then change the direction, something like this. And the light can have its intensity changed in here. So light options, so I can go here and turn up the intensity of the light and things like that. Okay, I just made the light so that we can see what's going on with the text. So extrusion depth, and there's also bevel styles. So if I just take angular, you can see I get this little nice edge on it here, and I can change how much it should be. So this looks okay. So let's see, what does this do? Something. So this looks okay. This is what I want. All right, I'll put my camera back at the sort of like neutral. And if I then switch my view to two views, we can see that I now have this scene here where I have my typeface and I have my camera, and I can actually move my camera here, and as I move it you can see that I move closer to the object. I slide just under it. I want it a little bit up, so instead of top I take this to front, and then in here I can just move this up a little bit. So it will, maybe it should go right through the N. There we go, I think. Is that good? Yeah, I think this will work. So I'll go back to top view, and you can see as I move in, I move through the letter here. So that's good. So let's make a quick animation for this. So I move this back, maybe to here, and I'm in frame 1. I will go and find my camera, and just click it and press P for position, and then I click the little stopwatch, and then I go forward. This should be like a 10-second one. So 10 seconds is how many frames? I use 25.
250.
250. Thank you. You should pay attention, Robert. So I move it in and just through the. There. Okay. So we have this nice animation now of the camera just moving along. So the next thing we want to do is we will start adding some clouds. So I find a nice cloud. This is pretty good for like a background maybe, and the other ones are good for like foreground. So I start with the background. That's this one. So if I drag that in, that will just be the background. It will be fixed. So it will not be moving, because this thing is a 2D layer. So it's just assembled on top of everything. Alternatively, I can make this into a 3D layer. And then you can see what happens is that it pops in front because it's located at the same position as the text. So I need to then move it back a bit, maybe like so, maybe a little further actually. There, so now it's too small, as you can see, so I'll have to change the size of it. So I just go here and press S for scale, and then I can just scale it up a little bit, like so. Maybe also scale a little bit there. So now, oh, it needs to be even bigger, right? So just make it a bit bigger, like so. So now as I move in, I will actually be moving into this plane as well. I just want it to be even further away. I really want it to be, oh, not that one. I want it to be really far away. Like maybe See, I'm hovering until I get the set. There we go. And then I make it big. And this should be, in the first frame, it should be really big. So, like so. By moving it a long way back, I will create more parallax. So it will be changing size slightly, but not a lot, because it's the space we move is not a lot compared to how far away we are, right? It doesn't make a big difference if I do like this or this as to how big you look in my viewport, but if I'm looking at my finger, it does a huge difference. Okay? So if I do this, you can see that the background does get bigger, but only slightly. I could move it even further back if I wanted to, but I'll just leave it here right now. Okay, so the next thing we want is like some clouds that we're actually moving through. So I will add another cloud. One thing I have to say, when we're using 3D layers, the ordering of the 3D layers doesn't really matter. What matters is where they're placed in space. So that is the big difference with how this works, right? They will be rendered accordingly to how they are placed in 3D space, not how they're stacked. So again, this is one of the places where After Effects' way of thinking is kind of strange, because they do everything on the same layer timeline thing. But you get used to it. So I'll find a cloud here that we can use. Grab this, drag it in here, and you can see it just goes in front of everything until I click the 3D button. Then it's not in front of everything anymore. Well, except it is, because it's just in front of the text here. So I'll just move it closer to the camera at frame 1. Just need it to be like, maybe you can also move it here, maybe like have this be out here somewhere. But of course it's all black, so what I need to do is some sort of key. And in After Effects, this type of key, in Nuke it's called just a keyer. In After Effects, what you can use different things, but one thing that is good is in the keying section of the effects, and it's called extract. And you can see I will drag it on this piece here. And the extract thing here can be used to make things transparent according to the brightness. So as I drag it here, you can see right now this is where it will be completely opaque, and this is where it will be completely transparent. So by dragging the lower one, I can create like a transition zone. For some reason my graphics is not updating when I'm dragging it, but never mind. You can see what's going on over here. So what I want is for this to be maybe like this. See, something like this. So I have this cloud being semi-transparent, maybe even more so. Maybe just there, and then have that go all the way over there, like so. So when I move in to this, you can see how I just slide past it. Now, depending on the layer, it might get really pixelated when I get close to it. So what I really want to do is, sounded like Spice Girls. But what I really want to do is to fade it out. So as if I just go to one view here and I just go really close, and I'm looking at this, and you can already see it's like pixelated, right? So I go back a little bit, like here it's sort of like okay. And then for that cloud layer, I'm pressing the T key for transparency, and I'm keying that, and then just a few frames later I have that faded out. So what you get is this effect that you get close to it and it just fades away. And this is essentially how we built this thing. We just keep adding layers we can use the same layer twice. So for instance, if I take this layer here and go Control D, that will duplicate it exactly like in Maya. Oof. It's a lovely feeling. And then of course I need to like move it over here somewhere. Maybe move it back a little bit like there. So we can see that this looks really weird. So that's because I have two layers exactly on the same plane. So After Effects can't decide which one of them to draw. So as soon as I change the layering here, it starts making sense. So this one I will rotate. So just go to this one, press R, and then I will rotate it around the Z-axis, something like, maybe just have it at a weird angle like this, there, and then offset the keys for the transparency on this. So just go T there, and that should probably like become transparent slightly earlier because I get closer to it. So like that. So now I have these two. Maybe it's too much at the same time like this. Ooh, not good. There we go. So something like this. Maybe they should be even further apart, like so. Then I can push it back in. See. Maybe make it slightly smaller. There we go. So you can play around with this, obviously. Something like this. Let's see how it looks. This looks. There we go. This is kind of nice. Of course, it looks a little funky that they have the same brightness and stuff. So what you can do is like add some color correction to them. So there's a lot of these, but for instance, CC toner or the one called tritone, both works nicely. So if I just add tritone to the last one here, and then they become like brown, so I can make these like more bluish, maybe blue-green. There, make the brights slightly less bright, like so. So now you can see they're not really the same anymore. They have each their different look, and I can do that with both of them so that they blend in a little better. So I can do it with this. Actually, what I'll do is I will grab this one, Control C, and then go to this one, Control V, and they will both hit this blue thing, and then I will just change this slightly so that it's a different blue, maybe a little there, a little darker, maybe that's too much, so something like that. So I'm basically just using the same effect twice on two different layers. Okay, let's find another thing I can use. Which one was it? Maybe use this thing here. So I'll just grab that, plug that in, and again this layer needs to be a 3D layer, and I need to make this like this should probably be here behind somewhere, and we should use an extract on that. So just there, grab extract and plug it on that layer there, and again just make it blend something like this. There, make it bigger like so. Maybe have the opacity of that be slightly lower, so it's there. So now we have this thing moving as well at a different pace. Let's see, it should probably be halfway between those two, so I will move it back a little bit more. There we go. So somewhere around there, and then make it nice and big so it takes up the space. Like so. So now we have this thing moving as well. So we have another layer, and you can just build all the layers you like. The more layers you add, the more real it'll look, because if you only have few layers, you can see that it's like one plane and another plane and another plane. But as you start adding a lot of layers, you'll get like this feeling of depth. So what you could actually do is like have these layers duplicated. So for instance, for this thing here, if I just go back to here, just take this layer and then Control D it, and then go into that layer. Oh, where is it? It's here. And then just move one of them slightly in front of the other one, maybe offset it a little bit, and then go and just change the fade out on this a little bit, like so. So now we have two layers that are the same, just slightly in front of each other. So that will give this cloud over here a little more depth, because we have like two things in front of each other. And we could rotate one of them a little bit. Let's see, just this one I haven't used yet, so I'll just add that. Put it in there, make this a 3D layer. Again, move this in here. Make this let this be just big enough that it can cover it all up. And then we need to add extract to that, and then change this thing here, something like that. Let's see what happens when we move, and then we will pass. This will look really ugly around here, and then pop, we have the logo there. So maybe we will move this down a little bit so that yeah, that looks better. And then then we have the top part there. We'll just scale it up a little bit there. So what we could also do that would probably make this better is to just make it like so, and then have this thing when we get too close, like around here, just have the transparency be animated, and then go. Of course, if you could get like really high resolution imagery, then that would be preferable. So here it looks not so nice. So what we can do is we can use our ellipse tool here and just make an ellipse through this. So this is a mask, like so. And right now this mask will look really sharp and not nice. So what I can do is go to the mask here and change the feather. So as I drag this feather, it will become softer. You should see the difference here. So instead of being hard, it sort of fades out towards the edge, like so. And if you want the masks to be turned off, you can do it on this button here. So you can see now we get this effect of having this cloud, and then we moves into this one. So let's take a look at what we got to. So space, and it'll start caching frames. Yes?
Should we have a color red?
Oh, that one, yes? Yeah, we could do that. Let's okay, so we just see it looks like this now. Actually, I would like it to be like placed a little bit different from the banana. It seems like they move totally together. It always looks nicer when they're like when there's more parallax, when things are like changing size at different speeds. So that was this one, right? So it's probably move it up here, maybe there. And as you said, well, we could change the size of this, make it slightly smaller. Move it up a little bit. Yeah, we can use this tritone. It's kind of nice to change the coloring and then make this more blue. So it's maybe a little bit too blue. So that's an easy way to do it. Another way you could do it was to use another color correction thing. Just move that, go color correction, and then we can use either color offset or color balance. So if I grab this, I have this hue wheel that when I rotate that, I will change. I will rotate the color wheel. So what becomes red will become yellow, and then green, and etc. So I can use this to offset my colors. So since there's a lot of different colors in this image, it might not be the right solution, but it's one option you could use. There's a Colorama is a little wild, but you can use different ones. Maybe let's see. Curves, definitely. It's your favorite. Okay, so in here you can do like gamma corrections to change it, but you can also work on the individual curves. So if I want to reduce the red a little bit, I can reduce that. So you can see immediately it becomes more green-blue. And I can take the green one and reduce that a little bit too. So that way it becomes more bluish in color. So that's it's more or less the same tool as you have in Photoshop, of course. So that's it. We will now just take a look at what it ended up being. So just go there and spacebar and see what we ended up with. And you can also download your own cloud imagery and use that. There's also some sites where you can get animated time-lapse clouds. Maybe that would look nice to add that in there. Well, a recorded cloud that is like evolving. So you could use that, because then the clouds would get more life to them. And then we need some lighting and stuff, and so we get something like this. See, right now you can see that this is a plane. This looks like something from the 80s, but as you use higher resolutions and stack them up, you can make this look more real. So yep, that is it for